Ayo.
Ayo, what's up?
You got here to Ayo.
Live podcast here. Well, it's not going to be live for anyone but us. But
Live for us.
it's live for us. We've never done this in person. We have 360 camera vision. Oh, this is good stuff. What episode are we on? Because in the planning process.
Well, I think it's episode 24.
24.
Yep. So you want to start with the 24 quiz?
Yeah, we'll start with the 24 quiz.
Okay.
Before that, the nosebleeds section 23. The nosebleeds 23 at Gmail. Sorry, the nosebleeds 23 at Gmail. We'll tell you about our product of the week in a little bit, but
find us on Facebook and Spotify.
yes, and the YouTube.
And YouTube.
And the YouTube.
We're only together because got fantasy football draft today, which we're pretty excited for. I'm jacked for it.
Can't wait to lose.
Dynasty football, good stuff. We'll talk about some fantasy later. All right, I'm going to quiz Patrick and Bryce today. The greatest athletes to ever wear number 24. Number one,
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
correct. Okay, this is a baseball player, arguably one
Ken
of the
Griffey
greatest
Jr.
baseball players of all time. No,
Oh, really?
did he? I don't know. This is, I mean,
Yes, Ken Griffey.
I'm
In
bad with
Seattle.
numbers, so he could be, but it's
Seattle.
not the
Yeah.
player I'm looking at. This player played from 1951 to 1973.
51 to 73.
Yes.
One of the greatest.
338 stolen bases, 1,900 RBIs.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays is correct.
Yeah.
We'll go first to three. So
Oh,
the first one doesn't count. So Patrick's up one.
All right.
All right. Oh yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. was next. So nicely done.
Give me a point.
Sorry.
Hey,
Sorry.
good man.
Do I get a point?
That's your call.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Champ Bailey.
I wouldn't have. Oh, I love Champ Bailey.
Was he 24?
For the Broncos,
Champ
he was.
Bailey? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or what? Ooh.
For the Redskins, he was. I think for the Broncos too.
I think he was. All right. This person wore number 24 at some point in his career. Not his whole football career.
Marshawn Lynch. Learned
Played
it last week.
No, yeah, I know. He played defense.
Carl
Oh.
Woodson.
That is correct. 24 for the Raiders. Not
What's the
correct.
score?
Yeah.
Is it 2-1?
2-1, yep.
Okay.
So if Patrick gets the next one. Let's see. Here's a good one. Baseball player. Played predominantly for the Detroit Tigers.
Miguel Cabrera.
Correct.
That's-
all right.
Yeah.
Next one wins.
Still playing. This is last year.
Oh, here's a good one. Basketball one. This player played.
Kobe Bryant.
Ooh, they must have the years active because they wrote 96 to 1980, which is obviously incorrect. I'm willing to bet it's 1966 to 1980. This website is not good. I gotta stop using it.
Yeah,
Every
it's the
time
same one as
yeah,
last time.
I know.
told
We
you
were in a
not to use
pinch.
this
We
one.
were in a pinch. Let's see. Averaged 24.8 points per game in his career. NBA champion, Finals MVP, ABA champion.
I keep thinking it's a big man. Is it a big man? I can't think of a big man that wore 24.
I can't think of one. It's
I'm honestly not even sure. Played for the New York Nets and the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, it's Richard Jefferson.
Nope. Played from 66 to 80.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Richard Jefferson did play for the Nets and the Warriors.
Although the first name is
Richard
relatively close.
Pryor. I don't know.
It's not
Rick-
Richard.
Rick Barry.
Ooh, I don't know. That was a tie. All right, we'll do one more. That was good. Nicely done. Okay. Here's a good one.
Richard Pryor led us to thinking Rick Barry.
What a transition, yeah. Okay, last one. I'm going to start with this player just this weekend got inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame.
NFL Hall of Fame.
Played from 2007 2017. At his peak, he was one of the greatest lockdown corners of all time. He had a very big nickname about an island.
What the hell's his name?
Darrell Rivas.
Got it.
Yeah.
Darrell Rivas is correct. Patrick's the winner.
Congratulations.
That's what he wore for the Patriots. I'm not sure what he wore for
He
the
was
Jets.
24 for the Jets.
Was he? Okay. Yeah, I was. That was really cool. That this year's NFL draft classes or Hall of Fame
he's in the
classes
Hall of
really
Fame.
good. Yeah. He was so good. He was so good.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about those corners. Like that's what worries me about Jair Alexander for the Packers. It's like we might have like 2 more good years of him, and then they just
Oh yeah.
and then they fall. Like Patrick Peterson did the same thing, and then they're like, okay.
And they're average.
Champ Bailey did the same. He probably sustained a little longer, but Darrell Rivas did it. Richard Sherman did it.
Do you remember that Champ Bailey jersey that my sister used
I
to
wore it.
have?
I wore it all the time
Yeah.
when we played football in your yard. Oh yeah.
Yep. Do not use that website anymore.
What's tough
Yeah, I know.
about him is he was always on a terrible
Always.
Redskins team.
Yeah, yeah.
He's so irrelevant. He was like the one guy you knew for the Redskins was Champ Bailey.
Yeah, yeah. He was my favorite player growing up. And it was
Who's your
probably
favorite player growing up?
favorite football player, non-Packers football player.
Champ Bailey.
Yep, I love for some reason. And it might have been honestly because of that jersey. And I just loved the jersey. And whenever we played football, you wouldn't play if you didn't have a jersey because I was just stupid.
Oh, right. Of course.
So like if it wasn't a Packer jersey, I'd always be like, "Hey, wear that Champ Bailey jersey." So
And it was
Yeah.
my sister's, and I
And-
don't know why she had it because she liked horses, so she became a Broncos fan.
that's true, yeah.
Oh,
But
it
that's
was the Champ Bailey Broncos.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes
but that's also the most badass name ever. Champ.
sense.
Champ Bailey.
I think that might have been part of it.
Yeah.
That is a cool football.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, real quick, Joe Thomas inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I've met him.
deserved.
He looks good. You've seen him in person
yeah.
at
and
work,
I've cleaned
right?
His car. I actually put a Bengals lanyard thing in his vehicle when he bought it,
Yeah.
just to
Because
make
he
him-
played with the Browns. his whole
Yeah, he
career.
was
He played
competitive.
with them his whole career, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah. He looks really good. Like
Yeah,
he's stacked
I
and
don't
jacked,
think-
man. He looks
Even
good.
in the NFL, he never like got big this way.
Well,
No, he's
he was like tall. He's like 6'8".
almost this way. Like he's just
Yeah.
huge. Yeah. It's just huge.
by
And
the way, his wife is like 7 feet tall too.
oh really?
Yeah, and their
That's what-
kids were like 5, 6 years old, and they were like up
Yeah.
to my chest. And I'm like,
He
jeez.
buys all of his vehicles from Philback dealership in Boston. I don't know if he buys them all in the Boswell location, but
Really?
he
Yeah,
likes the Boswell location and he has hunting land.
really
In like
close.
Muscadet.
it's
or-
out there. Yeah,
So yeah, the famous Joe Thomas loves our area where we're from. So pretty
yeah. I
cool
heard the
stuff.
story. His wife was telling us how much he had to eat just to keep the weight on.
Yeah,
Like he'd eat like 3 bowls of ice cream after every meal.
It's
He'd
funny,
wake
like-
up at like midnight and make himself eat.
That's gross.
after like guys like that stop playing, it's usually like the big guys, and it makes sense. The big guys get way smaller,
Yeah.
and the little guys get way bigger.
Yeah,
Like I don't want to like take shots or anything, but like Darrell Revis is like looking a little pudge. Like, but your whole
Right.
career, you're like,
Working out.
yeah, like you
24/7.
have to be.
well, if you
this.
go from ripped to all right, I'm done playing now, and then that muscle goes somewhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Change it.
Exactly. Yeah. You have the mass, but then it's
Right.
like if you don't keep continuing to build that, it's like your body's used to the mass, but you're not maintaining the lean muscle you have. So yeah, I get it. It's just funny how that dynamic works. So, baseball time. I'm excited to watch the Brewer game today too.
Of course.
You want to talk just general baseball stuff? Trade deadline is over, and then
Yeah.
we'll jump into some Brewers.
Of course, the app that I use to look at all the trades, they took it out because we're past the trade deadline now. So I guess did you pay attention to trade deadline at all?
I mean, a little, but I mean, Otani didn't get traded, which I didn't
Yeah, that was
expect
more
that.
hype.
Yeah.
And then they were rumoring what's his name for the Cardinals? Nolan Arenado.
Oh, Arenado. And I kind of
I thought that was all smoke because the Otani stuff just died, and then they're like, Arenado.
Yeah.
No, he's not gonna get traded.
I feel like the Cardinals too are never going to be in like complete sell mode.
Yeah, they sold off a couple
Like-
expiring
Yeah, yeah.
pitchers, which their pitching sucks, so they needed to restart in that direction anyways. But
I don't know if it's just from them being in our division, and just kind of knowing how they do things, but like, yeah, I think the name value for some of their guys, I was like, I don't think they're ever gonna.
I could have seen
Just can't see
Goldschmidt
it.
because he's only got 2 years left.
Yeah,
Arenado, like the Rockies paid him and then traded him to the Cardinals and then decided to pay like $50 million of the contract.
Yeah.
And it was a good deal to begin with. So now he's pretty cheap and he's probably the best third baseman maybe in the history of baseball. So,
Yeah.
and he's still really good.
Yeah.
So he didn't get moved.
A-Rod.
He's better than A-Rod. And
really.
defensively, he is the best third baseman.
Oh, yeah, I know he's absolutely
and he's
fantastic,
a
but
really good bat. And he didn't use steroids, so multiple times.
that we know of.
Did he date J-Lo?
Yeah.
Nobody's probably got a hot wife. If you want, I can look it up.
J-Lo, him and J-Lo aren't together anymore, are they? I don't
No,
think so.
she's back with Ben.
That's
with,
right.
Ben
I
Affleck.
think you're right.
Yeah. The Marlins, I liked what they did. They're kind of like the Brewers. They got good pitching, and then they do not have very good sticks, to say the least.
Sure.
And they went out and got 2 first basemen. And who else did they get? They got a couple good bats. They got Jake Berger. It's a cool name. They traded him
Yes.
for Jake Eater, so Eater and Berger got traded.
That's
for each other.
hilarious. Oh my gosh. Traded
Sox-
Eater for Burger.
Yeah, White Sox sold like everybody.
Oh, real quick side tangent. That fight last night.
Oh, Tim Anderson.
He had squared up, and then did you hear the radio broadcast call of that?
Yeah.
Down goes Anderson. Down goes in. Oh, it was just perfect.
He had so everybody was on his Twitter or X, whatever the hell they call it now.
Yeah, I'm still gonna call it
Twitter. He had a tweet in
Wait, what?
Twitter is X now. Here, I'll even show you.
You show I'll keep talking.
That is Twitter.
What?
Yeah,
yep, it's X.
So he went back to a tweet in 2012
I
and deleted it because it said, "I'm gonna go to sleep." It was like a "Hey, I'm going to bed" tweet.
Yeah.
And everybody was commenting on it.
Oh my god.
He went back to 2012, so he had to delete it last night at like 2 a.m. because he got knocked the fuck out.
Jose Ramirez said like he's been disrespecting the game for a while or something. I don't know either of those guys. Is he
Tim Anderson was also
kind of a hothead?
Tim Anderson was like really good. He and then this year he's rated as the worst baseball player in just statistically. Yes,
because he's boxer too.
And it wasn't like a clean hit. Like he got it.
He was falling back. He just took a last second shot, and then
it was like an
just
open
perfect.
fist like this.
He did get right up, I will say, but like it was one of those like down, and then like
You
probably
can go down a rabbit hole on YouTube. They have boxers who have like reaction videos.
Oh, yeah.
that are like analyzing. I watched one. They're like, "Why did Anderson do a
He's-
southpaw?
yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
not
it's a righty."
yeah.
And then he went with a clean right. He left himself open.
Well, the funny thing is too, Jose Ramirez is kind of this short, pudgy little dude, and Tim Anderson's like freaking ripped.
He's a big dude.
His jawline is
Yeah,
and he got knocked out.
yeah. It's a bigger target.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good stuff.
Just to top off the White Sox disaster of a season, they pretty much sold
Yeah.
everybody. Angels went out and bought a lot.
Yeah.
I said they were going to get Stroman, so I wasn't far off because they went and got Giolito.
Giolito, yeah.
And then they got a couple guys from the Rockies that I was hoping.
Giolito I saw a Twitter video too of him like reenacting the fight in the dugout or something.
boy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh boy.
The big one team we got to mention for sure is the Mets.
Yeah, I was going to get to them. They sold off Scherzer and Verlander. We got Marcana, Tommy Pham got traded. Who else did they end up trading? But they pretty much sold. They're selling this year. So.
They spent so much money.
Yeah,
And
and everybody's like, "Wow, the Mets won all these trades because they got these top prospects." But yeah, your owner's paying for pretty much the majority of Scherzer and Verlander's contracts.
Right. You had to eat that in order to shed it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, yeah, they are pretty good prospects you got back.
and you just
The Scherzer deal, they got
got
Ronald
hit.
Acuna Jr.'s little brother.
yeah.
So he's supposed to be pretty good. And then the other trade back to Houston.
What position does he play?
Shortstop, right? Pretty much, if you're a great prospect, you're a shortstop. Like Ryan Braun was a shortstop,
Infield
third
out.
baseman.
Oh, really? Yeah, I remember third
Yeah.
because he played a little third base in his younger years in the Brewers.
Right.
I remember. I don't ever remember him playing short for us.
What?
But he might not have.
In
but-
his middle school days, I'm pretty sure he's a shortstop, and then he moved to third baseman, and then it's like, yeah,
And they
you can't
shoved him
play.
in left field.
You can't play third base.
I got shuffled to center field in 8th grade.
He was
Great
very
switch
error
over.
prone in his early career.
Yeah,
that was
that
like
just-
his one knock.
that
Yeah,
just
game.
Made me think of the glory days of Ryan Braun at first base. Man, that sucked.
I see.
You know what really sucked? I don't know. You guys were talking about JJ Hardy last pod,
Yeah,
Yeah,
2 pods ago.
yeah. It was
pods
not too
ago.
long ago.
And I
Yeah.
got myself thinking about that whole team. And it was like Hardy, Corey Hart,
Yes.
Bill
Fielder,
Hall,
Ricky Weeks,
Junior
Bill
Spivey, maybe.
Scott
Yeah.
Pasednik on that
Was
team.
Hall. I think
Scotty
Pasednik and Spivey, they were like
The next little
they were
Okay.
before.
Wes
They were just
Helms?
before.
Wes
Or
Helms on
before.
that team, or Carlos or not?
Carlos.
No,
Lee.
He was after
Carlos Lee,
Carlos
yeah.
Lee, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun teams.
Oh, there were Bill Hall, man. Oh,
I just
one
like
of
his
those.
batting stance.
one of the goats. Yeah, I did.
I love Bill
Yeah,
Hall.
yeah.
Not just batting sense, they moved him around every year.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he would
He was-
excel at the next position.
He like arguably is
Second
one of the
base,
greatest
shortstop, third
utility
base,
players of our generation.
center field.
Yeah. So good. And he was good he was never amazing, but he was always just like, yep, throw him there and he'll hold his own. He'll be just fine.
He was like really
Yeah.
good at third base. I
Yeah.
think that's where I remember him playing the
I
most.
remember him at second for some reason, but I think the video game I had for like 4 years, he was a second baseman.
Right.
So I mean, take what you will.
I'm trying to think of who else would have been in the infield with JJ Hardy and Prince Fielder.
I think MLB 2K.
Oh, Ricky
fixed.
Weeks. Ricky
Ricky
was
Weeks
that
was
second.
the second.
Ricky was kind of after all that, but
His batting.
No, he was like
too.
before. Yeah, he was like the first guy to come up.
I just mean
those
like with that
prospects.
team.
Right.
Yeah. The Bill Hall was pretty old when Ricky Weeks came up.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. But Jeff Jenkins was in that crew too. Lyle Overbay, maybe. There was some.
Oh, yeah, Lyle Overbay. He might have been
Yeah.
at first.
Jeff Jenkins was with us.
Overbay and Fielder were at first.
Yeah. Young Prince. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then didn't we a few years ago, didn't we bring back old Lyle Overbay? Old, did I say that right?
I don't think so. I think it was another guy. I always get
Was it?
him and
Okay.
like two other guys mixed up.
I think there's like a former Brewer that we brought back to play first base, and he was like old.
Travis Shaw.
No,
Okay.
I liked
he
Travis
did
Shaw,
come
though.
back. We are way off.
Yeah,
subject.
sorry. Yep. That's all right. We're
We
gonna
can
talk
go into
Brewers
Brewers,
here.
what
Yeah.
the Brewers got.
Yeah.
I guess let's go with their division rivals. The Cubs ended up buying in because they're on a
Yeah.
heater.
Yeah, it was right. It was like a week before, 2 weeks before the deadline. They went like, they swept
won,
two
like,
series
8
in a row or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
And then they ended up getting the guy that I wanted, Jamer Candelario,
Yeah.
and he is like 8 for 10 since he's joined the Cubs.
Yeah, he would have been perfect for the Brewers.
Yeah, he's hitting the crap out of the ball. The Reds bought nobody besides another bullpen arm. They didn't get one starter, and it's showing now because I think today they are playing. Who are they playing today? But they got a guy coming up from the minor leagues that hasn't pitched yet. So
Yeah.
that's great when you're trying to win a pennant. Bringing up another rookie
Did the
pitcher.
Cubs sweep them, or did they take 2 out of?
I think they took 2 out of 3. I can't remember. To
They
be honest
down
with you.
30 runs and
They put 36 runs up in 2 games.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. And then the Cubs, even last night, they beat the Braves, who we saw the Braves a series ago, and they beat the crap out of the Brewers. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Braves were-
we saw them.
They are so good.
we didn't even see the good ones. 'Cause
Yeah.
Spencer Strider didn't pitch against us. Max Fried just came back, and then
Oh.
Charlie Morton's really good. And we didn't see him. Basically, we got 3 guys that weren't even in their rotation,
That whole
and they kicked the crap out of us.
it's like they're not like amazing. They just like have no weakness.
That was a reality check, though.
Yeah. It is probably good for us for sure.
Yeah, and they went out
But-
and got some pieces too. Like they got Nicky Lopez, who's a pretty good. Like you're gonna see Nicky Lopez just get a base hit in an important game,
A really important situation.
and
yeah.
they got him for a guy that they traded for cash, and then flipped him for Nicky Lopez, who's a really good second baseman.
Hmm.
And
So basically cash for Lopez and the long run
basically,
things,
and they
yeah.
got a couple other bullpen arms that haven't been great, but they're like they got Brad Hand. We were talking about Brad.
Yeah.
They got Pierce Johnson, guys that I've never really liked, and they've kind of struggled at times. But they're going to go to the Braves and just be really good.
Yeah.
It's just what the Braves do.
Yeah.
Brewers, they got
Mark Canna.
Mark
Canna,
Canna, Carlos Santana, and Andrew Chafin.
Oh, if there was another like Ryan, Mark Canna, Santana, and pulled him from Louisiana. That would have been so
And
good.
his nickname's a
Uh,
sheriff, so I was hoping maybe his nickname would Brian, but no.
Who Mark Canna's nickname is sure?
No, Andrew
Carlos.
Chafin.
Oh, Andrew Chafin. Okay.
Yeah.
We can. Yeah.
What do you think of those trades? I was hoping they were going to get a bigger bat. But
After the first, who was the first trade? Was it Canna? Or no, it was
Santana.
Santana was the first one. I was like, he's an older guy. Like, I think that's just kind of a minor move, but I think after that,
first step.
yeah, like, okay, something big's coming. And
Yeah, he
it
was
just
kind
never,
of the off-brand Jamer Candelario, switch hitter, but he doesn't play anything besides first base. He plays a really
Right.
good first base.
he does. And even if in the playoffs he's DHing at worst.
I think he's been an upgrade to
Rowdy,
Yeah.
well, Rowdy hasn't
Oh,
played.
Owen
He's right
Miller.
there.
Owen Miller.
he got
Miller.
sent back down to the minors.
Yeah.
That's Wisconsin native.
Owen Miller.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Stevens Point. A lot of baseball players have come out of there.
Probably. Nah,
Actually,
probably.
it is like center of the state.
Yeah. They just seem like B level moves, which is fine. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
They are.
they definitely didn't hurt the team, and it's probably improvements, just not as big of improvements as I anticipated.
It's helped our offense, and it's going to help our bullpen because really we only have Hobie Milner in the bullpen, who has been really good this year. But Andrew Chafin can kind of go right in there with Piamps and Pagero and Devin Williams.
And honestly, too, when we're talking playoffs here, like the
enough.
later,
It's enough to make the playoffs.
yeah, and like, are we gonna see the later guys in our starting rotation kind of move more to the reliever role, like an Eric Lauer?
Well,
Because we really
Eric
only
Lauer
need
hasn't
3
been
guys.
even playing. He's been
No.
sucking in the minors.
Yeah,
Hauser will be.
I'm sorry, I meant Hauser.
I was like,
But yeah, Lauer.
See,
We'll see,
so
but-
Colin Ray got lit up pretty good yesterday, I think it was. I think he's probably gonna, so we have Burns, Woodruff's coming back today.
Yep.
Miley pitched a little
Wade
bit
Miley's
today.
still
Yeah.
there, and then Freddie Peralta. So those will be your 4 starters in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Very true.
And then I'm assuming Hauser's gonna be in the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chafin, Figueroa, Piamps, Williams, and then Milner, and then probably Bryce Wilson. So there is what, 11, 12
I mean,
pitchers,
yeah,
13. You
arguably
might-
a dozen.
Oh, and Abner Uribe, who throws 103 miles an hour.
Oh yeah,
Great
that's
to
right.
have that on the Brewers.
Yeah.
Just for an inning if you need it. Yeah.
Every other team
Yeah.
has a guy that throws 105, and then the Brewers throw out there some mid-30s
Colin Ray.
with a gut,
Yeah.
and then they're like, yeah, 85. Bob Uecker here.
Wow.
Every time it's like, oh, but yeah.
Ray's great for pitching on these hot days. They get a lot of fly balls.
Right. So yeah, I think the Brewers, considering the Reds did nothing, and then the Cubs didn't sell off and only got Jamer Candelario. They got a couple other guys, but he's the only guy that's going to be impactful this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the Luis Urias move. We traded him for a pitcher.
I
We
feel like we
also-
just kind of gave up on him way too soon.
He's young yet. He's actually only like
Right.
25, 26.
That's what I mean. Like he's got a lot
And he
of
was hitting pretty
baseball
good.
left.
And they sold him off for a pitcher who's actually his ERA. He looks pretty good in the minors. He hasn't played a major league game yet.
Who owned that pitcher? What team did he?
The Red Sox.
The Red Sox.
Okay. But he had never pitched for the Red Sox yet, correct?
No, he's always been in their minor league system, but he's got good minor league numbers. But he ended up trading somebody else for another minor league pitcher. I can't remember who it was, but
Yeah, I mean, you can never go wrong taking swings at pitchers. But
the big part of that,
yeah.
that sh-
I mean, Urias
Him
has
going-
been disappointing, but like you said, he's young enough, and
them going out and getting
He's
more
shown
young
really good
starting
glimpses.
pitchers shows me that they're not signing back Woodruff and Burns. So they're trying to figure out
Yeah,
what's going
like,
to come after.
which one of these guys are going to hit?
So that's
Not
kind
gonna
of
sign either of them back.
I would say one. And I
I
think it's
think-
more likely
I
that it's
think-
Woodruff.
yeah,
'cause they
especially after
burned-
being hurt all year. Maybe they try to buy out
Talk
his
him down a
last
little.
arbitrary.
And they burned Burns.
Yeah, but he really
Burn
likes
them.
he really likes Milwaukee. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
it sucks when like a guy has a great relationship with
We can't
his
even
teammates,
say
but
that
not
it was
the
Stearns.
ownership.
It'd be nice if we could be like, oh, that was Stearns, his last.
Yeah,
little
but it
move.
was-
yeah.
No, it was Matt Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his
Yeah, right out. Great
He's-
first impression.
And wait, what about your thoughts on? I'm jumping, but like Council, his contract.
I don't
That's a
think he's
good
going
question.
anywhere.
They've been
I-
a little non-committal.
I don't think
Yeah.
he's going to go anywhere. He's from Milwaukee, I think.
Yeah, he's from.
Yeah, I knew he's from Wisconsin. I didn't know.
And
what-
from Whitefish Bay.
there's a lot of fans.
Oh yeah, okay.
There's a lot of fans that don't like him. I think he makes a couple
Yeah, I-
questionable.
That doesn't make any sense though.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's a
consistently
great.
takes like a very mediocre, a little above mediocre. I won't call him
Mhm.
that bad,
mhm.
but he like does a lot of creative things.
He does. I think the biggest
Usually
questions have
pisses
ever
off,
been
like,
about his
He pisses off the traditionalists.
his pitching.
Yeah.
His pitching decisions, I think, have been the
Yes,
biggest.
there's times where he doesn't pull somebody. It's like, come on, Council. get up.
Yeah,
Or there's times where he does pull somebody. Last night he came in to get Burns, and Burns is like, "No, I'm getting out of this."
Oh yeah,
And
he
he's just
did.
like, "All right, go get
yeah,
him."
go yeah.
I can't tell you what to do. You're the face of our team.
Well, and maybe having a coach like that too, who can, as I mean, he as a player wasn't a pitcher, so he probably,
Right.
that it makes sense.
So what
that's
the
his weakness as a
announcer
coach,
said,
but
I think Council went out there. He went out there to see what Burns' reaction was going to be.
sure, yeah,
If he handed him the ball and walked off, it's like, all right.
yeah,
guess
then
you're out."
clearly he needs to get out,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
So
yeah, that's a good point, actually.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think Council's going anywhere.
I don't either. It sounded
Yeah.
more like they were just in the midst of maybe some talks and they couldn't say.
because we
Yeah, where
we still
they're
have
at.
Stearns, right?
Huh?
Is David Stearns still with the Brewers? I think he is.
Yeah,
Because the
he's
Mets
some
won
fashion,
next year.
but he's not
Yeah.
like actually working.
Right, it's weird. I don't even know what. It's a weird situation.
I think the Mets
Yeah.
have wanted him because he's linked to Steve Cohen.
Oh, okay.
And they're
Yeah.
talking like, oh, if Stearns goes there, so is Council, which I don't see that happening.
Interesting.
We'll see though.
Yeah, I think too, like from a Brewers
I-
ownership perspective, keeping Council is just a good move to keep the fans happy.
Yeah.
And if you're
Honestly,
talking about
you're-
losing
you're
Corbin Burns and
50-50
stuff,
on-
yeah,
I'm on
Yeah.
a couple.
I think in general though, like the people who are probably the bigger baseball nerds like you, then maybe not so much, but just like the general
Right.
Wisconsin Brewer fans who go to a game, I remember when Council used to play, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like,
I think this trade deadline was a lot of their message was trying to say we're at least trying to win.
right.
We're not going to do what we did last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never go out and they just sell top prospects for a bigger name. They always get guys that, like, we traded one prospect for each guy that we traded for. We didn't trade multiple prospects. It was a 1-for-1 in every deal.
Yeah.
It's just what the Brewers do.
Yep. We make a bunch of
We've been very safe.
safe moves. Yeah. Which is, we've had a good enough year to where this is probably the least frustrating
Right.
time to make safe moves, I guess.
It's
But-
been our formula since we hit on Yelich and
Yeah.
Payne in one
Yeah,
year.
and Logan.
That was like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
big, and a bunch of other guys that
And
Yeah.
were like good for 1 year. And
yeah,
not.
Yelich was a major splash move, but
Right.
And he's back, so that's
Yeah.
awesome to have.
just in time. Any
We
other
didn't talk-
baseball stuff?
We didn't
or-
talk American League at all. The big buyer in the American League would probably be the Rangers. They went out and got Max Scherzer, like we said. They went out and got Jordan Montgomery. I looked at their roster. Let me just pull it up. Notable starting pitchers that they have on their team. Jacob deGrom, who's out for the season with Tommy John. Dane Dunning is really good. Nathan Eovaldi, sorry. John Gray, Andrew Heaney, Jordan Montgomery, Jake Odorizzi, former Brewer,
Yep.
Max Scherzer. That's 8 guys that you should know if you watch baseball.
Right.
And they got a couple other guys there. And Martin Perez. That's 9 starting pitchers that have made a name for themselves in baseball. So I don't know what they're going to do next year, but
Yeah.
they're loaded. And who else did they end up going and getting? Austin Hedges, who's just a really good framing catcher because Jonah Heim got hurt. But they already made their big splashes a couple off seasons ago with Marcus Semien, Corey Seager. I think they are my favorite in the AL right now, the Texas Rangers. I was going to say that before they got Scherzer, and then they got Scherzer, and I'm like,
Yeah. Okay.
How many
okay,
games up are they on the Astros then?
only 2.5.
Okay.
I think it honestly comes down to the Rangers and Astros.
That'll be a fun race.
Yeah. Wow.
Rangers,
That-
Astros, Blue Jays are my 3 favorite teams in the American League right now. I think Tampa's
Oh, Rays. Yeah.
Tampa's falling apart.
They are.
They got a lot of injuries. Shane McClanahan, who I think could be the best pitcher in baseball, is hurt. I don't know if they said if he's out for the season.
That AL West division is crazy.
AL's
The Angels
AL
are fourth at
The East and the West.
Look at
the 56 and 56, and the A's.
look at the
31.
look at the AL East.
The
worst team is the Boston Red Sox
at 56. Yeah, I know. Because like you were saying in the last show,
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
you
the
listen to a podcast with the Yankees fans or Red Sox fans that were like, just sell the team.
Yeah. The Yankees,
What?
they're a big loser. They
Yeah, they didn't do.
they went out and got nobody, and they
Yeah.
got bullpen arms. They have the worst offense in the league. In a
It's
league that has
crazy.
the Kansas City Royals and the Oakland A's, who are historically terrible, although the Kansas City Royals have won 8 straight.
Yeah.
The New York
Yeah.
Yankees have a worse offense. Terrible. Yankees aren't. I think I had Yankees Brewers in my prediction for the World Series. That ain't gonna happen thanks to the Yankees. Brewers probably still make it.
Yeah.
Probably still.
Yeah.
The Orioles are still in first place. They ended up going to get Jack Flaherty from the Cardinals. He had a really good start. I like that. They have enough prospects where they could have got more than that, but I don't think they're going all in. I could see them being a team that in a year just gives Corbin Burns just all the money.
Who? The Angels, Yankees.
The Orioles,
oh,
because they don't have to pay anybody else.
Right. They got
Go out and
pretty
get-
low.
And then you don't have to give up
Overpay.
prospects.
Yeah.
That's a team I would be scared of. I'm not too scared of them this year, though. I think they got good pitching, but they're young. I think once playoffs hits, it's a different mind game. I mean, they're a good team, but like I said, I think the Blue Jays, the Rangers, and the Astros are the 3 best teams in the AL. Sorry, Angels, you just went out and bought everybody, but you're going to be horrible next year now.
Yeah. Well,
That's enough baseball.
good time to jump into our product of the week.
Oh, yes.
Right here. We have air fresheners courtesy of.
Yeah, shout out to my sister Molly.
Yes.
Here, smell them.
Big fan of the pod.
What about a podcast you could smell through?
Everybody smell it.
Reno 911 reference. Yeah, that's awesome that she did that. Made a bunch of them. So for this week's product of the week, if you message us or comment on our YouTube videos, if you contact us in any way, shape, or form asking for an air freshener, we will send you a nosebleed section vanilla scented air
Doug
freshener.
scented, vanilla.
Doug scented. Yeah. Yeah, very average. But hey, I'd rather have my car smelling vanilla than smelling like me than smelling like you.
That sense coming out.
Yeah. Smells like Adidas cologne.
And Molly, up next, we want some hats.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be sick.
We need
Yeah.
some nosebleed section. I think I need
Yeah.
a snapback.
There you
Just
go.
saying.
That would be sweet. It's got to be black. I'm a black hat guy.
I get everything else dirty. Remember my wedding
Yeah,
hat,
that's
the white
yeah,
hat?
yep. That's a work hat for me now because I got it dirty.
Yeah, and yours
Yep.
wasn't even white. Mine's
Yep.
all white.
Yep.
Ugh, yeah.
I know. Can't keep anything clean. So there's your product of the week. Let us know if you want an air freshener. We'll get one to you. Right there.
Last look.
Good stuff. All right, let's do some football. First, Packers family night was last night. Everyone and their mother I have on Snapchat was there, and I wasn't. I've been
65,000 strong.
That's right. It's always
It's always packed.
Yeah.
It's
Have you
like-
gone?
No, I've
Have you
never
gone?
No, everybody I knew was at that country thing.
Oh yeah, County Line
County-
Cuts and Craig
County
Sheen.
Line.
It was actually probably I had a lot of those
That's
too.
where everyone was.
Yeah. I was wrong. No, there was a lot of people at family night because it's cheap. The tickets are like $10.
Yeah.
And like when my family did it growing up a lot, we'd either go to family night almost a few summers almost in a row. We'd either go to family night or a preseason game, and we always played the Browns in that preseason game.
Oh yes.
Always.
Yeah.
I've gone to 3 preseason games.
Preseason game.
Everyone was Browns.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyways, so family night's pretty cool. You would like if you do it right, like we did, it's a whole day thing. They have stuff going on in the parking lot and food and vendors and bands and a bunch of kid games and stuff where you can, do touring competitions, all that
on the
stuff.
sled hill in the middle of summer.
Do what's that?
That sledding hill they have there now.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I haven't been to Lambeau in a minute, so I
What?
couldn't tell you.
The new Titletown district.
Oh, nice. No, I haven't, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. No, I haven't been
It
to
was a joke.
Lambeau.
I doubt it would be.
Let's hope I know.
Well, yeah, no, I know that obviously, but yeah. And I've never been to some of the updates they've been, and they've updated the stadium since I've been there too.
I've only been in Lambeau once.
It's amazing. I went to that family night one night and there was a really bad lightning. And so all the fans had to get out because it's metal bleacher seats,
Right.
had to get out and just like flood into the inside of the stadium basically. And that was pretty hectic, but it was kind of cool. But family night, it's really fun. We do like the tour and stuff. And if you're smart and for preseason games, you wait out in the parking lot, and we met so many players.
Oh, cool.
So many players. My favorite one, quick story. Do you remember Kabir Baja-Biamila?
Of course.
So he is a very religious man.
Yeah.
And we didn't know this. And so cars are rolling out and stuff, and you stop and wave. First, we met Donald Driver, which my mom was just,
Of course.
my mom would divorce my dad in a heartbeat. if Donald
Everybody's-
Driver. He would. She knows it. He knows it. So it's fine.
Wisconsin
But-
mom's favorite Packers.
Oh my God.
Donald Driver is
Smile.
like
Oh, that
top
smile.
three.
Yeah. So yeah, no, he's a good
Maybe
dude.
number one.
He's a good dude.
He
I'll
is.
say that. And he talked to us, and then so after he left, then KGB comes right behind him, and we're like handing stuff. I got a Donald Driver signed down. I was wearing his jersey, which was really cool. But KGB comes up and we're like, "Hey, can you sign this?" And I handed him my hat. And he goes, "No, I'll sign something for you." And he like reaches back in his car. He gives me this little pamphlet. It's the 10 Commandments.
Oh my God.
And he signs that
great.
and gives it to me. But then he also gave me a card. It was like a regular football card of him, but on the bottom, and I didn't notice it until like much later that it says on the bottom, "This is a personal gift from Kabir Baja-Biamila.
Whoa.
So you cannot purchase this in stores," which I was like, that's badass.
That's kind of
So yeah, so like we got our 10 and then he's asking, okay, the Packers, God, and family, which one, let's rank them. And we're like, he goes, "What's number one?" And we're like, Packers? No, that's God. What's number
Oh.
two? We're like,
Packers.
Packers. No, family.
Oh wow. So he flips the Vince Lombardi quote.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Isn't it God? Maybe it is God family.
Maybe you might be right. Yeah, I can.
That
yeah,
rolls
that's
off
funny.
the
I
tongue.
forgot about
No,
that. But yeah,
that's
so that's my family night story. That was really cool. And then there used to be a really cool jersey store. It was just called the Jersey Store. It was like 2 blocks from Lambeau. It's closed down now, but they had a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, always got a jersey every year. Got Atari Bigby jersey there one year.
Ooh.
Yeah, he did not amount to anything, but I
What?
thought he was gonna be the next. He had one decent season. He was a stud on special teams for like a season, but
He had like 2 very
in
good seasons.
yeah, maybe all special teams though. He was a safety. He was
No,
like one of
a
those
starter.
safety.
He was a starter on the Super Bowl team.
What?
Yeah.
Atari Bigby?
Yeah.
I might have to look back into
Go
this.
for it.
He's like one of those like safety linebacker hybrids in college and then in the pros. Injuries derailed his career. But,
Big B and Nick Collins.
oh,
And then our cornerbacks were
I love the Nick
Woodson
Collins.
and
Don't ask Doug to look it up.
Can't
He
even remember
doesn't have
number
good
2. I know
websites.
Sam Shields was like our number
Sam
3.
Shields at the
Was that
time.
rookie
Casey
year?
Hayward. No, that's before Casey Hayward. Yeah, way before. Yeah, way before. Yeah, but yeah, so
Favorite
that was
corner
fun.
of all time. would probably be,
so-
Tristan McKenzie.
Oh yeah, yeah. But Packers family night was last night. People freaking out over Jordan Love. That's basically why we wanted to bring this into the conversation. He missed some throws. Yes, I know. I know.
My fault.
Oh no, you're good. I have a buddy who is.
Our own J-Lo.
I know, our own J-Lo, our very own J-Lo. I have a friend, Seth, who was on one of our very first podcast. It was early in the podcasting for
Yeah, it
us.
had to be like.
It was during last year's NFL season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big Bears fan. Gives me lots of crap about the Packers. He was there. Don't know why. He was wearing a Bears shirt, which is pretty typical for a very stupid Bears fan.
Why would he go? Why would he go to the game?
But I had family or something, maybe, I don't know, but he was definitely there, sending me many Snapchat videos of Jordan Love, like missing throws and stuff. But family night is an open practice scrimmage, and Jordan Love came out and said he was trying different things. He's trying different throwing angles, trying different ways to maneuver in the pocket, taking riskier throws and things.
This is the Packer angle.
It is. It very much is, and I understand
This
that.
is Packers news.
Yeah, it's very much a Homer angle. I get that, but in another sense, I mean, it is the truth. I mean, that's what practice is for, is to try new things. I'm not advocating for Jordan Love to immediately fill the Aaron Rodgers
I
void.
already wrecked the second
But-
stringers.
Right. So there you go. Backups, watch out. Bryce is just over here grinning because he is not a Jordan Love truther. So what's your take on?
We have gone from Brett Favre to
He-
Aaron Rodgers.
He's a Jordan Love.
Jordan Love is not the next quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, he is actually. He's our starter.
It's pretty pathetic.
No, Sean Clifford.
Don't get me started.
I hope so.
Sean Clifford will be a better coach than quarterback.
Well, maybe
We'll write that take down.
Oh,
maybe
he'll-
we should start coaching Jordan Love on how to be a quarterback.
Hey, whatever it takes. He'll be a great clipboard holder.
Yeah.
for the
Jordan
Packers.
Love? I know.
Sean Clifford.
Sean Clifford. And a headphone wearer.
Jordan Love has, and no one can deny it, he has
Talent.
an amazing talent. He does. He has an amazing skill set. It's just between the ears is all that he needs.
How many picks did we trade
So-
up to get him? 2?
I don't even remember
2
the trade
seconds
anymore.
to trade up to the first?
Yeah, but I have hope for Jordan Love. I like I said, he's not going to immediately fill the void for Aaron Rodgers, but I think this year he'll be fine.
I think he's
I really
going to
do.
show
I
some
really do.
flashes of greatness for like 1 or 2 plays, and then
Be up and
people
down.
like
Yeah,
are gonna be
for
like,
sure.
he's here, the next quarterback.
I can see
And
like
then we're gonna. I just hope if he's not gonna long term be a great quarterback, just flop this year, because I don't want to
Yes.
just
'Cause
drag
he's
this
on a
out.
1 year. He's on a 1 year.
Yeah, that's the tricky part with Love is like after this year, it's either contract extension or franchise,
Yeah,
and it's like
Yeah,
I
I agree with what you're
I
saying.
don't want to drag this out for years.
no, he's kind of set for failure.
And
It
if,
really is.
if we're gonna suck,
Oh, the rest
this
of
is
the
the year to
team's
suck. Because I would love to have what's his
Caleb
name,
Williams.
Caleb Williams.
Or Drake May. I mean, yeah, there's two. And more than just those two. But I will say, if the Packers do suck this year, there is a glimpse of hope for getting one of those guys. I don't think we're going to be that bad though. We have a really really talented team. Like you take all the teams in the NFL, take the quarterback out. Packers are top 10 in talent.
I do remember saying that last year.
I
Would be my
know. I
only- remember our
Yeah,
defense is going to be
but-
so good.
Right, but at least we're not a top of the draft kind of team. You know what I mean? Like even if we're mediocre as a whole, when your team is that talented, you're gonna be a sub 500 team.
Things can go
You know,
south in a hurry, though.
Yeah, but I just think we have too much talent to be to get a top 5 draft pick. Is all I'm saying.
We're a pretty young offensive core.
Yes.
Our
Very
defense
young.
is. honestly,
If our coach, if our
But they're young, too.
coordinator wasn't awful,
Was it Joe Barry?
we should have a top 5 defense. Look how many first round picks. Well, it's because that's literally all we spent first round picks on. But okay,
So that's Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, I know. Oh, good. Oh God, we are not signing Carson.
I'd be happier if we just had Carson Wentz as a backup. So in 2 games when Jordan Love just.
Oh God.
I don't want
What do
Carson
you-
Wentz.
That's what I think about Jordan Love.
You'll see.
Yeah, but
You'll
at
see.
least we've seen
You'll
Wentz
see.
play bad.
That's right. He's bad.
I haven't
Carson
seen...
Wentz is only good with
All
Doug
right, I
Peterson.
did see Jordan Love really suck it up against the Chiefs. That was rough.
I
Some
predict
of those drives
But-
were rough.
Yeah, but again, I mean,
He's got
imagine like playing one of your first legitimate snaps in the NFL against the Chiefs.
And they won the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So
Shouldn't have.
give him some love.
But that's the thing. They weren't
Give
also
him some
like an
love.
elite defense.
Right. Chiefs have a very good defense, though.
But is that
They're
mid-season
top 10
point?
defense.
Is that mid-season point?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So yeah, just don't freak out over family night is all we're saying to
Yeah.
Packers fans and to non-Packers fans. This is not the inclination
I do still
that
think the
love is going
North's
to be
up for
awful.
grabs. I will
It
say
is.
that.
It 100% is. The
Who's-
Vikings
who's
are
favored?
not.
The Vikings.
Or the Lions.
I think the Lions,
Lions
might
might
be
be
favored.
favored.
You know, the Vikings. Did you know that they had a negative point differential
Yeah.
last season? Negative.
I believe it. They won a bunch of those dumb close games.
Yeah, all one score game. Like I think 12 out of 11 or 12 out of their 13
Against
wins
bad
were them
teams.
one score games. Yeah.
Brewers got the same thing going on. So
No, the NFC North is wide open. It's just it's widely regarded that the Bears are going to finish last, which
I don't. I
But-
can see the Bears being a decent team.
their defense is
They
awful.
just got Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah, to help them block. but-
the Bears think
yeah, they got big dogs. Yep.
What?
Yep.
I thought
I saw that. Was it last
he's
night?
best friends.
These bros with Rodgers, but no, he went to the Bears. I was very surprised, but it's a good signing for them.
I'm so hurt.
I know. I love Big Dog. I mean, he didn't make sense on our current team, but
We got to be careful to keep his name out of our mouths.
why's
Why?
that?
That's a Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Don't bring up his friends.
So let's bring into that. Yeah, let's jump
We
into that real
love
quick.
we love Mercedes Lewis and we loved him as a Packer.
I legitimately
We
did.
should have paid him
I think
$20
it's-
million
So if you haven't heard,
to sit on the sidelines and be a coach.
Sean Payton forgot that he's now a coach instead of an analyst on TV, and basically said, he did say Nathaniel Hackett was awful last year.
He's not wrong.
I don't know
I have to
that's
look the quote up. He said he did like the worst job that a
And
coach can do.
could ever do or something.
Yeah.
It was
Pretty bad.
it was very honest, very brutally honest, but they kind of and what Rogers, it was with Peter Schrager was at their training camp, if you know Peter Schrager. And he in that interview, he's like, I think he needs to keep my coach's name out of his mouth. And I do think he's kind of right, honestly. I like because they went into that whole
Well,
the
was there-
coaches is kind of like a brotherhood type deal where it's just like you can not like each other, but like you just don't say those things. And I get it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so many of you NFL coaches, and you want to support each other, and you always are trying to support each other to get jobs and head coaching jobs when blah blah blah. So I think it was a really crappy thing to say.
Yes, Broncos
But-
Jets play each other this year.
Do you think
Oh, yeah.
the-
Nice, that is cool.
has the season of Hard Knocks come out yet?
Tuesday.
Do you
Today's the
think-
6th, right?
They had to have been
Yep.
filming.
Tuesday.
I hope there's a filming at practice when that
Oh, that would
when
be
that
amazing.
bombshell drops.
Yeah. I mean, I think Hackett's gonna be just fine as an OC.
He's not a good head coach.
No, and sometimes that's just the reality.
Right.
So
His players also could have played better. Russell
Definitely.
Wilson sucked. I had him as my QB1 last year
in fantasy,
Fantasy.
yeah.
He played so bad. I just had to.
I think
drop
I
him.
didn't I? No, I traded for him from you late in the season last year, I think.
No, I ended up.
Or did you
dropping
end up dropping
him.
it?
And then you
Okay.
picked him up because
That's
I think
what it
your
was.
quarterback had a bye week,
Yep.
and I'm like, you might get negative points.
I rode the Geno Smith train last year,
Yeah,
which was good. But yeah,
It's pretty good.
yeah. So yeah, it was kind of cool. I thought it was kind of cool to see Rodgers stick up for Hackett. I think it's really weird that Sean Payton said that through the cameras. Even like
don't
as
like
an
it. I don't
analyst,
like
are you going to
his-
say that on NFL Network or whatever you know?
I don't like his
ESPN.
excuse. Did you hear? Like he just said he still had his Fox hat on.
Yeah, that's
Like, dude,
yeah.
just apologize.
Right, exactly. Like,
What
sorry,
he
I
did was wrong.
yeah. So I don't know. People love Sean Payton, but we kind of forget about like the whole what was it the
Oh, the targeting.
targeting scandal
Yeah,
and
forgot
stuff
about
like that. Like, just doesn't seem like the greatest dude. But I mean, he's obviously a fantastic coach. But I'm not convinced either that he's just going to turn the Broncos around this year.
Supposedly.
So,
I don't-
They
I
got a
think
good
he supposedly
roster.
didn't know about
Yeah,
I think they got a good roster.
they do got a good roster.
If Russell Wilson can just be 75% of what he was in Seattle,
Yeah,
that team should win 5 more games than they did last year.
I mean, in theory, yeah.
He was
They have a
horrible
lot of
last year.
talent. Yeah, and Javonte Williams came back from a catastrophic. He's going to play in
Yeah.
the preseason.
Yeah,
it. Oh, yeah.
And when he tore his ACL and one of his other ligaments, and then another significant part of his knee. Like it wasn't just like how Brees Hall tore his ACL pretty much like back because ACL injuries are not that significant anymore. An ACL used to be a full calendar year
yeah.
at the least, and now an ACL is like 8 months maybe, and you're good. But
Well,
Javante's,
some guys.
it depends.
And
It
the younger
depends.
you are, the better chance.
Right.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. These guys are tearing their ACLs in like their first year in the NFL, and it does kind of make you wonder. Brees Hall,
Well,
Javonte Williams.
You got
There was
years
one
in
other-
college and high school.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we'll see about those Broncos. But running backs update before we jump into our fantasy rankings here to close us out. So we talked about in the last show this whole saga with the running backs, and I just love it. I live for this stuff. Saquon ended up getting paid, kinda. He took 1 year. Was it 1 year 11?
It's 10
Or
point
10.9.
It
10.9.
It was 10.3, I thought, with
Incentives or something.
So it's the same as what the franchise.
More or less, he basically took the franchise, but I wonder if it was just to say I'm not taking the franchise tag.
Right.
Like, no, I'm gonna get a contract, but even then, I don't know. I'm not surprised one bit that he took something, but I was surprised that he settled that quick and for that number.
You couldn't settle for 12?
Well, that's what I was like, 12 would have been like, okay.
I got an
I
extra
get it.
million.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing about, and I think one of you guys said it last pod, he's their whole offense. Oh, Brock said it.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
right.
He's right.
But,
He's the entire offense.
but now that and I'm a Daniel Jones truther, so and a
Yeah.
lot of people are not.
And I drafted him pretty high in my
Yeah,
quarterbacks.
yeah.
He starts, he runs, he gets points.
Yeah,
right?
fantasy. Yeah, exactly. In real life, I do got to try and separate from real life versus fantasy, but I still think Daniel Jones, now that Brian Dable is in there, could be good. And they brought in Darren Waller, who I know is old and injury prone, but man, he is still extremely talented. When he's going to be on the
Oh, he'll
field,
help them.
he's going to be in a. They said literally they've been having to pull.
They had no one to throw to last.
They've been having to
Nobody.
pull Darren Waller out of reps to make Daniel Jones throw to other people. So, like, that connection is obviously going to be really great. They drafted Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee, but the Giants have literally 8 slot receivers as their receiving core. It's all slot receivers, and they signed Cole Beasley, so their whole receiving core is all slot receivers. Like, I'm not even kidding.
I mean, he used to
I
be
kinda like
Danny-
that.
It used to be Danny Dimes, not Danny Legs.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be both. Danny, maybe we'll go Danny Nichols. And
Yeah.
then,
Oh, okay.
But
Jeez.
yeah. Oh, by the way, taught second graders how to count money this last week. Tried anyways.
How'd that go?
Going into second grade or
Yeah, going in.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
for my summer school. Did some fun activities. Played a game where you got to throw a ball into a hoop, and then there's mystery money, and you flip it over. You're like, oh, that's only a penny. Then you take it back and count your money. It's pretty
I
fun.
love it.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
great.
fun. But yeah, so Saquon took the money, which is, I think, probably in his best interest, because you're getting to that point in your career where it's like, just
You don't know how many more productive.
yeah,
years.
just take your money, man.
2 or 3 maybe. If he's lucky.
Right.
Exactly. And Josh Jacobs right now has trade interest from the Chiefs and someone else. That one, the Raiders did come out and say they're opening discussions again, but
I don't see
Yikes.
the Chiefs trading for him. What's he?
I thought that was surprising
Oh,
too.
yeah, why not?
I mean,
I don't
Or the
see it.
Bengals, why not a contender go get him?
right, but it would have to be under the understanding of this is short term, dude.
Well, yeah, give him like a
Go out
Rams deal. Do
yeah.
like the Rams did.
But then
Yeah.
he's got to, at least then he doesn't have to be held down by a team when he hits the market again. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. But I don't see him coming back at any point in the preseason at this rate or at all for the Raiders. He left town. He literally got out of Dodge.
This would be a situation for the old Cowboys. They would have gone out.
Oh.
and got-
Yeah. Like bringing in the DeMarco Murray kind of, or no, Murray left. Did he leave the Cowboys for the Titans, or did he leave the Titans for the Cowboys? He left
Everybody goes to
the
the
Cowboys
Titans.
for the Titans.
Everybody goes to the
to
Titans
rot
to
and die. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what Hopkins does. I think he's got way more gas in the tank. But and then lastly on the running back saga, Jonathan Taylor,
Yeah, what's going on there?
owner of Jim Irsay, he is just saying the worst things. Like they're like, Jim, what do you got to say about all this? And he's like, I'm gonna say the worst possible thing I could say right now.
So
What-
a little bit true. Running backs'
The-
values are
Yeah, he literally basically said me and Jonathan Taylor could die tonight and the league would just move on without us. That's
really?
more or less what
So
he
he's
said. He
continuing.
literally
I
said we
haven't
could
seen-
die and the league would move on. Which you're right.
this is PR guy.
Right. Well, he's the owner. It'd be one thing if he's like the GM, but owners
Yeah.
owners just gotta shut up, man. You just
Yeah,
gotta stop
the
saying
best
stuff.
owners
And
don't
now
talk
there's
about it.
this whole deal with is it a whale? A whale or something needed to be transported from one location to another within the United States. But the transport for this was going to be like $20 million, and Jim Irsay funded it. All within this whole Jonathan Taylor thing.
He's gone, dude. He's too smart.
You can't make that stuff up. It was something like a whale or something that, like with water and stuff, is really expensive. But someone said it'd be really funny if he showed up to camp like in the costume of a whale or whatever it is. Yeah. So I kind of think like you are. Like,
I think
I'm JT. I'm like, I'm out.
The guy went to school to be like a rocket scientist.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I know
he's like
he's
legit
extremely
smart.
intelligent. Yeah. So we'll see where he ends up. Right now, it's not looking good. I don't know who they.
Who would they do that?
They need another running back.
They
besides Joe
should.
Mixon.
They should.
If we could get him on a cheap 1 year, obviously I would take him on Green Bay, but he ain't. This wouldn't be happening if he was going to take a cheap 1 year. So that doesn't make sense.
We got two
But
running backs.
yeah,
The whole package.
Aaron Jones is 28 though, and AJ Dillon. This is his make or break year. So he is underwhelmed, but I think he's been.
In fact, you just said, he's 28.
He's running back. Oh, I know. I'm older than Aaron Jones. That makes you feel better, but it's just that's the world we live in with those guys. So yeah, I don't know. So right now Saquon's back, but JT and Josh Jacobs not looking.
I can see
good.
Josh Jacobs going to the Cowboys. You said something about Cowboys, and I'm like, I can just
That-
see that
that-
jersey right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's he plays just like,
But
Zeke,
they don't-
more or less. I mean,
He would be a better use than
Just a-
washed up Zeke was.
yeah.
him and
which-
Tony Pollard.
Zeke has yet to
Man.
sign. Oh, speaking of running backs too, Dalvin Cook, which sucks because we're doing this draft today.
Yeah,
Dalvin Cook is not signed. He went to the Jets and like was in and around their practice. But the Dolphins are also still a serious competitor, and they did offer him a contract. I'm sure the Jets probably did as well, but he left his meeting with the Jets without a contract.
I just don't
So-
understand why these really good teams don't go out and get a running back. Like, there's good running backs out there that are available. Bringing them in, like Bengals, Chiefs. Who the Bills got? for
Bill,
running back?
they have James Cook, Dalvin's little brother, and that's why a lot of people are like, "Well, that would be a no-brainer."
Yeah.
And he said he would love to do it, but I don't know that the Bills have the money for it.
They are pretty
And-
strapped.
Yeah, and they really like James Cook, and they brought in Damian Harris from the Patriots to replace Devin Singletary, who
Ooh.
I think that's a slight upgrade from Singletary. Damian Harris was
Could
good for
be.
the Patriots.
Patriot running backs are tough.
It is, yeah, because they're good for the Patriots, but the Patriots give you like 2 years and then they just send you off.
Yeah.
Like Stevenson, it's really hard to judge what he's going to do because I think he's going to have a great year for the Patriots, and then they're going to be like, all right, thanks for your service. We'll see you later. On to the next one.
right.
So, yeah, lots of stuff in the running back world going on. And we're going to keep talking running backs because we're going into our fantasy running back rankings to end out the show.
Yeah, I gotta pull up a list because
I got one on my phone too. So me and Bryce we're going to give our rankings. Patrick's going to,
Go get my phone to look stats up.
there you go. He's going to kind of just go along with us and see what he thinks about our picks. And if you want to jump in and give your ranking or anything, go for it. So we're doing fantasy rankings for this season. So this is like redraft. Because we got to be careful. Our draft today is dynasty. So this is not
Yeah,
dynasty. Most of this list is not dynasty.
We want to show the list while you guys do it.
What do you mean?
I mean, like we could put it up on the screen for the viewers.
Ooh, possibly. I don't know if I'm
Just
that good at
try.
editing yet, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I got time during the Brewer game today. So it's redraft and PPR rankings. So you get 1 point per reception. I think that's the
Oh,
only
okay.
way to
I
play
was gonna
fantasy
ask
football.
that.
Yep. Actually half PPR is probably the most popular now, but I like full PPR still because it gives you a wider selection of guys. And it kind of devalues those guys who like really aren't that talented or just in a great, like Najee Harris kind of guys, where it's just straight volume. Or Najee Harris really hasn't been that good. I know the Steelers line has been
Wasn't
not
he a
good,
rookie
but
last year?
yeah, second year. This will be his third season.
Oh, really?
He was fine as a rookie but I drafted him
He
last
was hurt a
year.
lot.
Yeah, and it's just wasn't a great situation.
that's the
but
thing with
regardless.
this whole list. Injuries.
It's a tough list.
Yeah.
This was a tough list. So let's get started.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do my number one first or you?
Yeah, you're more of the fantasy guy, so I'm gonna follow your lead and just see how well.
Yeah, number one is really easy. It's Christian McCaffrey, without a doubt.
And I also have him, but it's hard to put him one
Oh, it is.
because
For
he's
sure.
always hurt. But
Yeah.
he's gonna be so much of that Niners offense,
Yeah.
and he's a
Yeah.
very talented running back.
He that's the thing. He's so good that it's just like he's probably gonna miss a couple games, if not
Yeah.
more.
You
I'm
got to
just-
take that chance.
You got to if he gives you, because fantasy football is more like 15-ish weeks if you make it to the championship, and
Right.
so if he gives you if CMC gives you 10 weeks in fantasy,
Yeah.
they're going to be 10 amazing weeks.
Right.
That guy does not have average weeks. His average weeks are like high end RB2.
Right.
So, and that's when he's like not having that great of a day. So
Yeah.
he literally, him going to the 49ers was like the perfect place to go.
It really was.
Like without a doubt, 100%. You pick one team to put that guy on, Kyle Shanahan's team.
Right.
So he's going to be amazing again. Elijah Mitchell is a great backup.
Yeah.
And if my suggestion is if you have McCaffrey, even if you gotta like spend up a couple rounds early to get Elijah Mitchell, get him, because if CMC goes down, Elijah Mitchell could very well also have a running back 1 week for you, because it's the 49ers running backs. That's basically all it is. So
and they're so short in receivers. Like Deebo Samuel had a bad year last year. There's gonna be times where McCaffrey comes out of the back and just goes out to the
well, now that
out as a receiver, and you'll have Mitchell in the back or something.
Deebo was kind of like a poor man's version of CMC, only playing wide receiver.
Right.
It's kind of weird, and I think he finally got because he did that 2 seasons ago, and he kind of got exploited this last season, where they're like, this isn't going to work full time.
I picked him up in fantasy last year, and he did not have a good year.
Yeah,
didn't he get hurt too?
I think he had dealt with some injuries. Yeah.
Who's their other receiver?
Brandon Ayuk.
Ayuk
So badly wanted
they
to
also
draft him.
Play him at running back.
Yeah, Ayuk does a little. He
also
also gadget things, but I think he's gonna have a.
It was the same thing as Deebo too. Like they had him a lot of receiver, and
yeah,
neither of them were as good. Of course,
Ayuk early last
issues.
He early last season too got in the doghouse.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't know what the deal was, but then he ended up finishing really strong. So 49ers going to be same old. So is McCaffrey your number one?
Yeah, I had him at 1. I can't find a guy that I'd like more than him.
Yeah.
I'm not putting a rookie at number 1.
Sure. That's fair. I've done it in the past. I had like Zeke,
Right.
But
by default, I had Christian McCaffrey.
Do you agree, or?
It's solid. I'm wondering why ESPN has Austin Eckler.
So that's my number 2.
He's up there, yeah.
I think they're very clearly the 1, 2. I think Eckler, it's just he's basically McCaffrey, just not as good of a runner, but is so good in the passing game. He gets the volume. Their backups is like.
And why I like him so much too is that those Chargers receivers are always hurt. So late in the season, Eckler sees more
target volume. Yeah,
I'm not going to be one to draft Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to wait for a guy that I have listed 2 through 5, just because.
Right.
McCaffrey's going to go.
You have to. Yeah.
Right.
Even in Dynasty, he's top 5 in the rankings.
Right.
I think he's ranked number 4 in Dynasty.
And
which that's steep for me, but I understand because it's just he's that good when he's on the field, which is hard. And I think Eckler's in the same boat.
Yeah.
So slightly smaller boat.
I have Eckler, but right there at number 2 as well.
Okay. Yeah, he's so good. Him and Herbert is after this season, who knows? I don't think he's with the Chargers next season. I think they're going to draft.
And I think that's why I have him at number 2, because I think he's playing for a contract.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. I agree. All right. Number 3.
You don't do it. You can't
do it. It is 100% Bijan Robinson. He is so good. He's so good. He's going to be so good. Rookie running backs, I've said this 100 times. They're basically in their prime. He was so good in college. And he's at his peak physically right now. In this next like 3-4 year window. And like I said, I made the Zeke comparison. He's going to be like that, only I think he's going to be even better. He's so good in the passing. He's 100% complete. He's so good in the passing game. Holds his own as a blocker. I mean, I don't even need to talk about just running the ball.
Right.
And it doesn't even matter between the tackles, outside in space. It's like if he's getting to the numbers or not, he's good everywhere. So Bijan's my number 3.
I had Nick Chubb.
Okay.
My Bengals play against him all the time. I see how good he is.
Yeah.
That's why he's my number 3.
He's my 4. So
is he?
It's a close argument. Nick Chubb is, I think, very under. I think he's perfectly rated in fantasy football, but in real life, I think he's very underrated. I think he's the best pure rusher in football. Just
one of
handing the ball off and running the ball.
Yes.
I think he's number one. It's just hasn't ever excelled in the passing game, but hasn't really ever gotten an opportunity. Kareem Hunt's not there this year. They did draft that kid Jerome Ford, who I think could be he's a little gadgety, could be in the passing game, but I think they're still gonna try and include him more in the passing game. But what's your thoughts on Bijan Chubb? Do you think they're appropriately ranked, both top 5, top 4?
I do get nervous putting Bijan, like Bryce said, above Nick Chubb, just with him being a rookie, and you never know.
There's been flops.
Yeah, but that position is so easy to translate. Like wide receivers, you don't got to translate with route trees and stuff. Like running backs, you playing running back.
It also matters, like who your quarterback is. How's your line? Do you have weapons out there?
Their line is pretty good. There are other weapons to draw some attention, but the Falcons are still going to be bad, which makes and Arthur Smith loves to run the ball.
I don't think the Falcons are going to be that bad. Actually, they added a lot.
I think they'll be 500 at best.
There's a lot of questions. They brought a lot of free agents in. Is Desmond Ridder for sure their quarterback?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's very much their starter now, but with the understanding that Heineke is just fine, dude. So like, if you're not gonna excel,
I think I actually had the Falcons in the playoffs. So, well, division.
Yeah, I'll say the division. Yeah,
I
wouldn't be.
I think I had 2 teams.
I don't see it, but
the NFC sucks.
Not crazy to say.
The NFC does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to spoil it now. He's not in my top 5. He could easily Bijan.
Oh, Bijan. Okay.
He can easily jump to number 1.
Wow.
Give me 5 weeks, and then he's number 1. But I wasn't gonna be the guy to take him.
The one argument is that Tyler Algier is young, and he was pretty good last year.
Yeah.
So I can see that, but you don't spend the 8th overall pick on a guy and not just use the absolute crap out of him.
Yeah,
that was a rookie deal.
Exactly.
You can't get money later.
Yep. Especially now, we're seeing this more than ever. I think we're gonna start to see more and more rookie running backs just getting pounded.
Yeah,
and I think that's just gonna be the new reality until the CBA changes things, or the CBA.
Yeah.
Well, it's called CBA in the NFL, right?
I think so. I'd imagine.
I mean, it's called the player at NFLPA, but one of our coworkers.
Make a new CBA.
Did you know one of our coworkers' brother?
Oh yeah,
worked in the NFLPA. Pretty cool.
I do.
Yeah.
Like a lawyer.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Yeah. Small world.
I mean, that doesn't mean he works for him.
Right.
He's a lawyer.
But yeah, FEMA. Yeah.
Just a lawyer.
He's just a lawyer for Yeah. Oh, anyway. My number 5 is JT.
Was that 4?
Oh, 4 was Chubb for me. Sorry.
Oh,
was your 4 then?
Barkley.
Okay.
Saquon. I think for some of the same reasons as Austin Eckler, he's playing for more money next year.
Yeah, and again, this is this season when we're talking these running back rankings for this season only. So
dynasty wise, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to draft a running back over the age of 26 years old.
I saw a take today on TikTok where the guy I almost did say that too. Where he said he has been doing dynasty for a long time and he always trades running backs before they turn 26, regardless of how good they are. And he said it's done him pretty well before the age of 26.
It's just unreal.
But isn't that wild? 26.
How long did
a wide receiver might be just getting into their prime at that point and could be good for another 10 years.
How many years did Amon Green run for the Packers?
Probably 10 good years.
No, it wasn't that long, was it?
I bet you.
Running back lasted a lot longer back then, but
7, 6?
That might be.
I'm gonna stick with my 10.
I remember Rudy Johnson on the Bengals was there.
He ran right up until
McCarthy
was in his first.
That's just the way the league has changed.
I have a card that's got a chunk of Amon Green's game worn jersey. Yeah. Pretty cool. So my number 5 is Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, you looked that up. I'm curious.
Yes, it's sneaky top 5 because he was hurt last
JT,
year.
Yeah, and I traded
he was
for
so
him.
good when he was healthy.
So he was really bad in the first quarter of the season. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go trade for him." Because when he comes back, and it didn't really he did okay, but it didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And now with all this stuff going on, I get but I think just talent wise, he's so freaking good.
Yeah, I was gonna have him at number 4.
If the Colts don't bring him back, there's gonna be a team that's gonna go out and get him. And he can fit into any team.
Not knowing where he's gonna go is the only reason I had him at 5 instead of 4.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, because he
Okay.
could just end
Yeah.
up on a team like a good team that won't use him as much as
Yeah.
a bad team.
Yeah.
Like the Colts.
Right. Yeah. I think he's kind of like, it's that same argument as McCaffrey, is just when he's gonna be on the field,
Right.
wherever it is, he's going to be really good if he's
Right.
not injured. And last year, clearly he was injured. So,
Yeah,
So yeah, number 5 for me is Jonathan Taylor.
same here.
Okay, number 6. I'll say it at the same time, or you just want me to go?
I might be flipping my 6.
Okay,
Seven.
I'll say mine then. Maybe I'll convince you.
Yeah.
My number, or do you want to say it?
I think you're gonna say
Oh,
Derrick Henry.
I'm
I'm gonna
not.
say Bijan Robinson.
Oh, okay,
Number
okay.
6.
Mine is not Derrick Henry, but
Okay, so Bijan's my 6.
okay.
He's probably top 5, but I'm not putting a rookie in the top 5 right now. There's guys in the league that have proven it. So Bijan's my.
You sound like an old man.
I am an old man.
I just refuse to do it.
If I was a running back, I'd be out of the league.
Favre played for the love of the game.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, my number 6 is, this might be a little bit of a stretch, but Tony Pollard. I love Tony Pollard.
That's why you didn't
Yes.
answer me in that.
Yep. Yep.
I'm keeping him in the 8th
But
round.
will they run the ball this year?
Yes. Yes, they will.
Oh yeah.
Because that's all that McCarthy is saying is we need to. He literally said we scored too many points last year. Yep. We need to run the ball, extend the clock, and help our defense get off the field.
He's a hell of a coach.
I do love Mike McCarthy.
I
I don't know
love
if I want him at the podium, but I love him.
I love Mike McCarthy now that he's not the Packers coach because he's great material.
He's a great material.
Oh,
I just don't have him at that high quite yet. I think he's a really good running back, but I don't know if they're going to get like a Josh Jacobs or something, and then that could take a.
I don't think they are. I think they truly believe in him. And then their backup is Deuce Vaughn, who is 5'5", 176 pounds.
So
He
your
did-
size.
He's smaller than. Oh, he weighs 10 pounds more than me, but I am 3 inches taller than him. 3 1/4. No, but he's electric. Don't get me wrong. Like I've seen some practice highlights of him, and he is hard to tackle.
Darren Sproles.
Yeah. But I mean, that's not a guy who's going to sustain getting hit. So it's like clear Tony Pollard is the dude. And I know he's like 4 seasons into the league now,
Yeah.
but he's been behind Zeke, so his body has not had that kind
How
of
old is he?
mileage. He's like 26, I think.
Ooh.
Which generally I know, yeah. Right, exactly. He might be 25, but he's 24, 25, 26. He's in his mid 20s. But again, he has not been a starting running back his whole career yet.
Right,
So
26.
yeah. So I'm not that worried by the number for him.
Yeah, he.
So that's my number 6. And I think he's a do-it-all kind of guy too.
You convinced me. I'm going to switch him to my number 7. Tony.
I like it.
I was gonna put Derrick Henry there, but he's got to be close to washed. Like every year, I'm like, is this it?
I know.
Nope, that
I know.
wasn't it.
I know.
Is this it? And the Titans, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they just got Hopkins. Who's their quarterback? Are they going to Tannehill?
Titans? They're going Tannehill, and I think they're pretty all right with it. Apparently,
They do run the ball a lot.
apparently Levis has not looked all that great.
Will Levis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think that whole thing with him and Malik Willis is just going to be a crapshoot once Tannehill's out of the building. So,
Yeah.
but regardless, so is Derrick Henry your number 7? Because you moved Pollard to 6, or
No, Bijan was my 6.
or 6. So you moved Pollard to 7.
So what's your 7?
My 7 is
For all the
in
reasons you
fact-
said. And I had him in fantasy
Oh.
football last year, so I know Tony Pollard can put the numbers up.
My 7 is Brees Hall.
Yeah.
But it was hard. Ooh, God. It was hard with this whole Dalvin Cook stuff. If Dalvin Cook gets on the team, then Brees Hall is not a top 10 running back. I think he still could be a top 12. But I think Brees Hall is that good, even coming off an ACL. I think he's that good. He'll be a focal point in the offense again,
Is he?
assuming, yeah.
think
I know they got
Rodgers-
they got that Israel Abanikanda, the backup rookie running back for him. But
Rodgers is my issue.
I don't think Rodgers is that good.
yeah, that's what I think too. Like, I don't think Rodgers is going to have that great of a season. I mean, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, but he's gonna throw the ball a million
I
times
don't
like he
know that
always
he will
does.
though,
I think he
because
will.
of Brees Hall.
Look what
I don't know if
look
he
at the
can.
Packers. You had 2 really good running
And
backs.
they've had good seasons. Well, I mean,
yeah, but they
AJ
could
didn't,
have
but
easily
Aaron
had
Jones.
more than what they had.
Hackett did run the ball a little bit more.
Yeah,
Like I thought we.
Yeah, I
could've
guess
ran it.
Hackett
he's
was.
I think
We
he
could have
was-
run it a little more last year.
for sure.
We
Could
kinda
have run it
missing
more last
that.
year.
We were missing that mentality.
I don't know. I think the talent of Brees Hall is that good.
Yeah,
And he's on it. The biggest thing like you want in fantasy, even if you got like, oh, they got a lot of good receivers and blah, 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 blah. You just want guys, you want really talented guys on good teams. and he fits that mold
Yeah,
offensively. So he's my number 7.
I just hate the Jets. It's hard to put them.
I mean, I don't
Okay,
love him,
Yeah,
but
Rodgers there, they're going to be the team that I hate on the most.
Yeah,
which means
but-
they'll probably be better.
probably
than the
exactly, and they have a good offensive. They got a great crew.
The
on
key,
offense,
the key will be injuries to Rodgers, but it just felt like last year, anytime someone stepped on his foot,
yeah,
he'd have a broken foot, and
Yep.
he'd be like, "Oh no, he's fine," and he'll play through it. And it's like, please come out of the game.
Yeah, just
like you're missing
end this.
guys that are wide open with no one around you.
yep.
Yeah.
That was kind of alarming because that wasn't the Rodgers that I knew.
Yeah. All right, number 8.
This is where I have Derrick Henry. I had to push him down a little bit. Like I said, though, he's going to be washed eventually, and
29.
it's going to come out of nowhere too. It's going to be
Always
holy
does.
crap. Derrick Henry sucks now,
Yeah.
and he's been arguably the best running back for the last 5 years.
We got to find out if he has any TV ads this year. Then we'll know that he's probably
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be that one guy
Yeah.
that you see all year, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
So I don't know if you haven't noticed. I haven't said Saquon Barkley yet. He's my number 8.
Injury reasons.
Injuries and bringing in Darren Waller and Jalen Hyatt, which I don't think Jalen Hyatt's going to be that good, but like I think he's really talented. I don't think fantasy he's going to be that good, but just they brought in some good actual weapons for once.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to help take the load off of Saquon. I like you said, coming off contract year, I think he's going to run like a freaking
Giants might be good this year.
steam train. I really think they are going to be a pretty good team, and I love Brian Daboll as a coach, so I think they'll be okay in that aspect. But I worry about the injuries for sure. Even little tweaks and
Me putting Christian McCaffrey at 1 is the reason why if I'm not going to put him at 2 because of injuries, I'm not going to take injury into consideration for everybody
Yeah.
else.
Right.
I'm just going off of if they're not injured, how are they going to do?
exactly.
So,
Yep.
otherwise, my list would be all 25-year-olds.
Yeah, honestly, or younger, 25 and a half year olds. Yeah. Then my 9, just to
Now
because we
you
were just
guys
talking
sound
about
like
it.
Mercer.
I know. Yeah.
If
No
we
one's
died
gonna-
tomorrow, nobody would give a
They
shit.
would. They'd move on. They would move on. Wouldn't even give us a head
If we died tomorrow, you're going to be stuck with a lot of these.
No one wanted him. My number 9 is Derrick Henry, just because you were talking about him. I'll jump into my 9. Yeah, he's riding that fine line of over the hill.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that because he's been so freaking
Do
good.
they have anyone else?
They have a rookie named Tyjae Spears, who is very talented, but he's dealt with his own injuries. So yeah,
And
That's
Tannehill's
that.
still the quarterback.
Tannehill's still the quarterback.
Still gonna be a lot of
A healthy
carries.
Tannehill, I actually like healthy Tannehill, but that just doesn't happen very much.
You like him
So-
as a better than Taylor Heineke quarterback?
Healthy, yeah. Yeah.
Slightly better.
Healthy Ryan Tannehill for the Dolphins was a stud.
He was not.
He
a
was
stud.
good.
They
He
were
was
a
good.
500 team.
Carson
He was
Wentz was a
stud.
stud with the Eagles.
Because of Doug Peterson. Yep.
Carson Wentz was stood for 1 year,
Yeah.
and he got.
I will
hurt.
say
And
he was
they won the-
arguably MVP that year until he got hurt. He was in the MVP conversation. He
Okay, well,
legitimately
they
was.
won the Super Bowl without
Yeah.
him. So
I get it.
maybe
I get
wasn't
it.
bad.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
Who's
before
your
your
number 9?
computer dies.
Yeah.
My number 9 is in my top 5 if I consider injuries, but it's Najee Harris. He's my number 9. I think
He could easily be top 5.
He could.
I love Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Personally, not really, because he's on the Steelers, and the Steelers, the
Yeah, it's a
Bengals
big
don't get
rival.
along.
Yeah.
Yeah. They run the perfect offense for Najee Harris. They have a quarterback that
I'd say Kenny Pickett's like a perfect quarterback if you're drafting a running
Yeah.
back.
they don't have any outstanding wide receivers.
Ooh,
Najee-
I like their wide receivers.
I like them, but they're
Well,
not. They don't have like
They're not proven. They might be overrated.
Deontay Johnson's proven.
we already did our top wide receivers draft. Did you take any of them? Jeff?
Well, no, just because they're
Because they
not
don't-
wide receiver
that's what I mean.
ones. Yeah,
Exactly,
I get it. I
that's
get
my
it.
point.
I get it.
They
For
have-
Freiermuth's a great tight end.
I like all
At
the
some point,
pieces.
they have to not just have potential.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like all their pieces, but I love Najee Harris as a running back. I think he's their focal point. So,
Hmm.
um,
I think he's not in my top 10.
Good
I,
value at.
yeah,
I think that is decent value because he's gonna get so much volume. But I just don't think he's that talented. But you're talking fantasy football, volume is king.
why do you think that though?
He just
I don't
hasn't
think he's
shown
that
it.
talented.
It just
What?
hasn't shown it.
You
His
don't watch
rookie
enough
year-
Steelers games,
His rookie year was
problem.
all volume and he was great. And last year was all volume and he wasn't that great. They're Offensive line wasn't amazing.
last year.
Dealt with some injuries. I get it. This
But
year,
not like a lot of foot injuries.
I think he would be a great high end running back too. I'd probably rank him like 14-ish. That's just where I'm at. So we'll see. I just like when it comes to like if I got to choose between different running backs, I'm gonna take the guy with talent on a bad team over the guy who's just like average on a good team. That's just that's the great thing about fantasy football.
Who's your number 10?
A rookie.
I wanted you to go first because
It is Sir
I have a
Jahmyr Gibbs for the Lions.
that was one of them I was thinking of.
Talking Alabama running backs, that's an Alabama running back right there. He is so good. I think he's gonna be an absolute stud. And maybe not this year, so redraft is a tougher conversation. But they brought in David Montgomery.
And they still have
They don't have Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to the Saints, which that whole thing I thought was really weird because they had Williams for like a very cheap deal and let him go and signed David Montgomery for like 3 years, 20, which is like,
Yeah, that was really.
this kid's
and I
gonna
think-
get that much with them having Montgomery.
so Montgomery is definitely going to be there between the tackles, probably in the red zone, which is like kind of hard to say. I get it, but PPR, full PPR, he's going to get a lot of catches. He's going to get a lot of looks.
Yeah.
And he'll have those big home run touchdowns, kind of like your Travis Etienne stuff, where it's like once every 3 games he could go off for like a 65-yard touchdown. Right. I think he's kind of like an Austin Eckler type. That's the kind of running back. He's not, even though Austin Eckler has shown he could be like a 3-down guy. Jahmyr Gibbs could be, but like that's why you brought in David Montgomery. I think they knew they were going to draft Jahmyr Gibbs super early with that pick because they drafted him at 12, and everyone's like, "Holy crap!" Like Bijan at 8 was like, "Yeah, we expected that," but Jahmyr at 12 was like super reach in the. And again, if you like your guy, I'm all for like just go get him. And I think they knew like no one was like they knew he was going to be available at 12, and that's why they brought in Montgomery because that's a perfect. Although I think him and Williams also would have been just fine.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that feels like an overpay.
It definitely is. And I think David Montgomery is way past his prime. I think he'll be just fine when he's like just the guy who's got to take the hits. You know. Right. But so I really like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think in PPR he's gonna get those receptions and he'll definitely have dud games. He'll have games of like 6 points. Yeah. But then I think he'll have some games of like 25 points. So
I had like 4 guys that I wanted to put on at 10.
Yeah.
He was one of them. Dameon Pierce was one.
I had Dameon Pierce last year. I drafted him like 4th or 5th round. And I think he kind of reminds me of Najee Harris is the only thing where it's like, I don't think he's that talented. If you had him in fantasy, you would too. Oh, last year he was frustrating. He was so frustrating.
Oh, you had him last year.
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
so
I didn't have him as rookie season. Yeah,
this is all coming from.
It probably is. But hey, we're talking fantasy.
Who's your number 10?
Yeah. So who'd you pick?
I can't pronounce the guy from the Jaguars.
Etienne? Travis Etienne?
Etienne.
Yep.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Etienne.
Okay.
Yep.
That's him.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I like the Jaguars offense.
Yeah.
They could take
hyping it up all year.
They could definitely take a step up. And I definitely think they will.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in football, I think, this year. And there's not a lot of pressure on them because I think they got a good quarterback, they got a pretty good line, they got good receivers.
They're in Jacksonville.
Yeah, you're in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
not a pressure cooker.
Your owner cares more about AEW than he does your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. No, I like Etienne too. Number 10 was a hard pick.
I thought about Breece Hall too, but I'm not putting.
Oh yeah, so you didn't even have him on your list then. Yeah.
Would I draft him? Probably, but I'm not going to put him in my top.
That's the thing about fantasy football too. You'll draft anyone. It's just gotta be the right spot.
Right.
So yeah, well there you go. Top 10 running backs. It's hard to say. Our list could be completely flipped by the end of the season, and
there's probably 10 guys that we haven't even named. Like, what if James Conner, because the Cardinals suck?
It sucks, and he's by far like the only running back they have.
Yeah,
you had Taylor.
I had JT at 5.
Did you?
Yeah, I had Jonathan Taylor at like 4 or 5.
Never mind.
Yeah,
I went to sleep. I guess
you did.
Bad segment.
Are you even a Badgers fan? Jeez.
Alvin Kamara, he's out for a few games.
3 games. Yeah, I think Kamara's done. Yeah. So, well, before my trusty computer dies, we should wrap this up.
Joe Mixon.
Might not be bad. RB2 this year.
Oh, he'd move up in the top.
Yeah, RB2.
Yeah, we'll see.
Biggest thing with running backs while we're on the conversation is fantasy football landscape has changed. It used to be running backs. I used to literally, I don't even care who was available. I'd take 3 running backs.
Yeah.
First 3 rounds.
Oh yeah.
It would be running back, and then my flex running
Adrian Peterson used to go number 1.
back. Without a doubt. And now it's all wide receivers.
Right.
So you just got to be a little more smart with running backs, depending on your league, like dynasty versus redraft. Look at their situation. Look at if you got a guy on a new team, what kind of schemes they run and what they've done in the past. And then obviously now with these contract talks, like we didn't have Josh Jacobs on our list, and he was the best running back in football last year.
Yeah, I just don't know where he's going to be. And yeah,
the biggest thing with fantasy is in early rounds too, don't take massive risks with running backs.
Yeah.
Take home run swings in the later rounds because they're expendable in redraft leagues. I can't tell you how many times I've drafted a big running back in like the first couple of rounds and then they get hurt or something happens. And
so the one thing with Joe Mixon too, he might be higher than like 10th or way lower because P. Ryan's gone now and he got a lot.
Yeah.
He got all the pass throws. Mixon was the runner.
Yeah.
Mixon was a little banged up last year.
And Mixon was banged up. And they got some rookies they're going to try out. And the guy they drafted a few years ago, Williams, that hasn't been great. But if those guys don't work out, like Mixon's getting all the
for this year. I mean, it's Super Bowl or bust this year, so I can see them like really riding him hard one more season.
Yeah. And he took a pay cut, like,
yeah,
thanks for the money back.
Yeah. You'll get snaps now.
There.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Seriously. Yeah. Give us some money, you'll get some snaps. That's how it works.
Yeah, this is the most frustrating draft because there's 20 guys I wanted to draft and 20 guys or 10 guys I drafted that I really don't know if I should have drafted. So.
Yep. Well, let's wrap this up.
Good pod.
Have fun at your play today.
We forgot to push record.
Yeah. Do you know what it's called? We could give some pub.
Oh, right. We should.
While you're at it, again, if you want vanilla air freshener, let us know. We'll send one to you.
It's called Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. That's why I had to remember.
That is a mouthful, yes.
You'd think
Nice.
I knew Great Comet was in there. My brother-in-law Tyler's in it.
Nice. That's awesome. Have fun with that. We're gonna go eat pizza and watch the Brewers before our fantasy draft.
Yes.
So,
Go Woodruff.
go
First game
Woodruff.
back.
That's right. All right. Signing out.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Bucks and 6.
Bucks and 6.
Thanks, guys.